I'm back. I'm back. Part two. It's gonna be part two. I don't edit. And so, ordinarily, a normal person who accidentally pressed the stop button would just combine these videos, but I don't have any editing software, so this is just gonna be a part two, and that's okay. I was really getting into it, but I had to press stop because, again, I'm mucusy, and that's nasty. Mucus is so gross. Blech, so nasty. But so that's a little bit about what I'm working with. I am finally able to see myself, and I think that that's so valued. Anyway, on to other topics. What have I been doing lately? Also, I kind of want to just talk about this for a little bit. Color seasons. I've been making videos about color seasons on my Facebook, my TikTok, all that, a little bit, and it's always fascinated me. As you guys know, I'm a person who loves categories. I love a good category. Love a good, like, we're learning about ourselves and, like, what group are you in? Just, it's always fascinated me. Yeah, and so, like, Kibby body types are always so fascinating to me. Loved deep diving on that for a little bit. Love watching color analysis videos. So good. And I posted one that I had in my drafts forever, and I wasn't expecting any comments under it. I just posted it because I was like, this should get out there. And people commented, and they were like letting me know that they think I'm a spring. I was like, I think I'm an autumn because look at these colors on me, which, by the way, the colors I chose were summer colors. Ooh, sorry. I'm not educated. I was not educated before I made that TikTok. So I've been informed by some people that if you have red hair, or red in your hair at all, you are likely going to be a warm color palette, which is spring and autumn. And then people further told me that they think I'm a spring. And I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. I wish I could agree. And maybe as I discover more about this, I'll find out that I am a spring. But right now, I'm just like, what are you guys seeing? For example, I'm wearing this color, this peachy color. I have some pinks in my wardrobe, mostly because there was a long period of time in my life where everybody was saying, you have pink energy, you have pink energy, you give pink vibes. And so I was like, I guess I have to wear pink all the time because I was just in a different headspace, okay? This was before mold and like in the beginning of mold. And then I guess even a little bit after mold, I was kind of like, I don't know what to wear, and people seem to like think I give pink vibes, so let's just buy a whole bunch of pink stuff. And yeah, and then I was like, ew, light baby pink, like a cool tone baby pink looks horrendous on me. Bad. Even though that was the shade of pink that everybody said that I gave. But it looks so bad with my skin tone. I look paler, I look sick, I look unwell. It's a pretty color, but yeah. And then there was a period of time where I was like, maybe it's more like a peachy color that I'm giving off. I don't know. Or like maybe I should wear that because that will complement me better. And so I have this sweater. But this is terrible lighting for this, but my other video I made is in perfect, pristine lighting, and I'm wearing this. And it still isn't it. So, I also think that I'm an autumn because I've recently discovered that even though my hair is classified as strawberry blonde, it has a lot of reds in it. Definitely can't be called a redhead. I come from a long line of redheads. Once you see a redhead, you can't really call yourself a redhead if you're not like true red. My dad's a redhead. My sister's a redhead. So I'm a strawberry blonde, technically. But I've come to realize that my hair is the exact same shade as pine needles on the ground. And once I discovered that, it all clicked for me. Because pine needles, as a color hue, okay, they go with natural color hues. They don't go good with a peachy color. They don't go very well with summery or springy colors. Not really. They go the best with green. They go the best with, I personally love a good burgundy with it, with a pine needle color. Love it. Here for it. And it's interesting because throughout my life, the times that I've gotten the most complimented, and by complimented I mean the most seen, like people giving me compliments, stopping me in public like, oh girl. And back in the day, this is pre-mold, I used to turn looks. I loved fashion. I loved playing with fashion. And like I said, I liked a good pink look, all pink head to toe. I loved Cult Party K as a style fashion. But a lot of the times when those things weren't as readily available to me, it was hard to build up Cult Party K styles, which is like a Harajuku style, if you don't know. That's kind of ghostly, very gaunt, very ghostly, very pale, very lace on lace on lace. It's supposed to give a very ghostly silhouette. I loved that. But that wasn't easy to build up in my wardrobe. It took a lot of time to build up even a remote Cult Party K vibe. So what was more readily available to me that I liked was autumn color palettes. And I would get stopped whenever I wore burgundy. Like, oh my gosh, your outfit's so beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, I just love your vibe. It's so cohesive with your hair. And I'd be like, whoa. It's interesting because I like burgundy the best. Like, yes, I love Cult Party K, but I always loved deep, rich colors. I just felt like people didn't like them on me, even though people would compliment me. But in my head, I was like, people see me as pink, so there's no way. I don't know. Maybe this doesn't make too much sense, but it does. It does. I've talked about a lot of this stuff before anyway, but yeah, people used to always say that I give off pink energy, and that really stuck with me. And I was like, oh, I guess I have to just live my life as a pink girly, which is not, doesn't really go with burgundy. I love the pair of pink and burgundy, but you know, it doesn't really go with like a autumn color palette. Anyway, what do we think about this? In this lighting, also not my favorite, but I will say this. I made a video about this, wearing this shirt in better lighting, and I think people are going to tell me that it looks best on me. But my reasoning for that is I think, obviously comparing myself to comparing this top to the pale cold pink, yeah, this is significantly better because I'm a warm toned girly. I get it. Never once thought I was a cool toned girly. No, I don't think so. Not really. But I forget where I was going with that. Oh, but I think really what's helpful with this is that it's so vibrant. When colors are, I'm using wrong terminology here in terms of color analysis, but when colors are more vibrant, potent, rich, I feel like they go better with me, even though I am low contrast. I don't know. And maybe I'm just blind to it. I do want to do a self-made color analysis. There's a woman on here. Her name's I'm gonna say this wrong, I'm so sorry. Siobhan? Is that how you say it? I don't remember if you say the B or the V. Siobhan? Is that how you say it? Anyway, her name is Siobhan, and she has a channel on here, and I just watched the video, and it was amazing on how to do a self color analysis. I'm going to be doing that when I have a vehicle, because so good. And what does this even matter? It doesn't. And that's the truth of it. I used to, this was pre-mold, care so much about how I was perceived. So much about how I was perceived. I learned that paying so much attention to how you're perceived and curating it gets you places. And that was a wild journey that I was on. Very wild. I was very influenced by the fox as an animal. And I still love foxes. Very, very much so. And who's to say the fox might come back in a different light? I don't know. But at the time, foxes were a huge totem for me. And specifically, their cunning nature, their nature that allows them the ability to morph into whatever surroundings, in whatever situation, whatever community they're in. And I feel so far removed from that, it's even hard for me to speak about it in a truthful manner, because even though that was true for me back then, I don't feel it in here. So it's like the impact that my words could have had if I were to be speaking about this back then, they're lost on me now, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm not able to speak on it in a powerful manner because of how distant I feel from it. But the fox used to be so impactful to me, and I thought that it was a totem. Now I'm like, I think it could be. I'm in a very in-between era right now of my life. Pending. I feel that in here, pending. And so, it's a lot of like learning about myself, sitting with what's true, being confident in me, all of that. And so, yeah, I forget where I was going with that. But the fox used to be really, and who's to say, it might be a totem of mine, it might not be, but I feel so disconnected from it that it's like, I don't think it is. And it's so funny because at the time it felt like such a strong kinship with the fox. Strong. I was like, you and I, we're sisters, we see each other. And I just don't feel that way anymore. And blending in was so, it was an art form to me. Blending in and creating community, a large community in different groups, and skillfully weaving in, while also showing parts of yourself, but also retracting some parts of yourself. And I thought that was beautiful, which is like so crazy for me to say, because I'm kind of revolted by it. But I had to learn so much. A lot of trauma had to happen in order to get out of these past ways. And when I was in my Fox era, I was learning that if I because everybody, this was my thought, is like everybody already sees me this way. This is how everybody sees me. Everybody sees me as light pink, whether I like it or not, whether I do anything about myself or not. People see me as light pink, and they've done that since I was in elementary school. They've always seen me as light pink. Like, they're just like, yeah, you do seem like you do seem like a pink person. What's your favorite color? Pink. It's like, who the hell cares? I digress. That's elementary school for you. But even in my personal life, people would say, like, you give pink energy. You know what I mean? Like, you just give pink. And I started to form like a kinship with pink. Like, and they always would say, like, the lightest baby pink. And I still feel like this weird kinship with pink because I've delved into the nature of pink, right? And I've trained myself to see the beauty in pink, because I'm also the type of a person who, if I'm in a circumstance, I like to change the way I think about a circumstance and try to make it a positive in my mind, because I feel like that's how you live, okay? If you're trapped here and you constantly are in denial of that, then it can be very trapping, I should say. And so in my mind, I thought, okay, everybody sees me as light pink, so I'm gonna emulate that energy. So instead of it being used to be a weapon against me, I'm going to use it as a strength and a powerhouse for me. And so I'm going to emulate pink energy to such a high degree that nobody can come after me and say something negative about it, about these traits of mine. And it worked. It really worked. I've said this before. It worked. I had a lot of friends during that era of my life, and they all knew versions of me. They knew parts of me. But at the same time, I was deeply depressed during that era as well. Deeply. So, before mold, ironically, deep despair. Oh my gosh, the pits of despair. My heart was aching. It was rough. It was really rough. I had a lot of like family issues going on too. So much was rough. And going through mold had to really detox me in a way, or purge me of a lot of awful mindsets. And so yeah, I really just tried to play the part, and people really liked that. People really seemed to like that about me. But I just feel so removed from that now. It's like, even when I look into color analysis and stuff, it's like, yeah, it's interesting to me. It's interesting to me, but I also can't even fathom using that as like a rule, you know? It's crazy to like put myself in the same shoes that I was in, where I would have used that to kind of blend in or be seen or liked or viewed a certain way. And it's like, I think inauthenticity, that's how you say it, inauthenticity has been completely removed and purged from me in the most real way. The mask has really come off. Whoa, that's crazy. It's kind of similar to what I was saying in the last video with the inflammation going down, and it feels like a mask coming off. That's crazy. But it does. It feels like very much so that my mask has come off, and it is more and more, and I just can't go back. I can't go back to the way I was ever. That also was over a decade ago, or at least close to, when I was in that deep despair and stuff. But yeah, But that was where my headspace was in and at. And then as I was out of mold and starting to get better, I just was so out of it. I was like, you know, I don't really want to be seen. Get me pink, I guess, because I think I like pink. Like, it was so hard for me to even think about myself and what I like and what I dislike. Now I'm able to discover and explore who I am. And I'm a person who likes rich colors. I love a good winter color palette. I do. I love jewel tones. I love autumn color palettes too. Oh, they're so good. I just love richness. Rich and colorful. Because I also love a good clown primary color vibe. Ah, oh, it's so good. So good. And, you know, even if I find out that I'm a spring, I'm gonna be like, okay, peace, I don't care. Because I don't know, I think it's interesting to learn about yourself and learn about how people see you and your complexion and all of that. And the science behind it. But I'm just, you know, that's for funsies. I can't even see trying to like use it to like look a certain way and have people perceive me anything other than what I am feeling in here. And that's on growth.